Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 27th of March here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're listening on the Beacon app, share in your stories. Let people know that you're listening to this energy forecast. Tag me in my stories. It really helps me to grow this platform and to put more resources on here for you if more people know about it. And also the same on Spotify. Share, tag, send people the link to hear about what is in store for the week, what your spiritual lesson is. It has been a very interesting week with, because March has always been predicted astrologically, even through my intuition, a big month. And it's a big month energetically because there's a lot of difficult things to deal with, but through difficulty comes opportunity and growth. So last week I set the Monday mantra to I trust myself and shine my light. I trust myself and shine my light. I will always focus on the positive of what the shadow side is within a week, because that's how we can manage the shadow sides as they come up. So we all have a light within us, and I explained this to you last week. We all have it, and some people are afraid to shine it because they don't want to truly show people who they are. But we are really stepping into this time where we need to shine our light, and for that to happen, it requires willpower and not feeling shy to get attention. The attention thing ended up being a really interesting thing for me for the week, because it expanded, and you might want to reflect on the week to, yes, there was definitely some attention on myself personally, but there was also attention to certain areas that are the shadows, which required attention to put light in. So, for example, Saturday, I needed a lot of time alone, and I needed a lot of time to sleep. So it was like I knew something big was being healed within me because of certain triggers about being where I am at the moment. So when you are in a position of being asked to step into your light even further, you'll find that your shadow sides are illuminated, because those parts of you need to be healed in order to be in some sort of position where you can expose yourself and unveil yourself and be a leader and be a role model, so that you can represent yourself authentically, rather than, gosh, there's all these sides of me that I don't allow people to see, or I'm hiding, or I'm sabotaging. And this is because the path is becoming to start very clear. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, weird stuff going on in the world. A lot of division, a lot of misunderstanding. And your job as an individual, because that's going to assist the wider collective, is to trust yourself. Trust yourself and really connect and create what you want, because that in itself reverberates to everybody else around you, which then connects to everybody else in the world. So your intuition, trust that. And especially all of you that are listening to this and participating in the meditations, you will start to hone in on your intuition even more and have that deep knowing of trusting what you can't see yet, but knowing that there is enough being presented to you to keep moving forward and to trust your talents and gifts. We're here as these characters in these avatars for such a short period of time. We need to step into our gifts and talents even more. We had the new moon equinox come in last week, which was this perfect time for manifesting. So the energy would have felt, for most people, quite light at that time because of all this light coming in. It's changed again, but this is the nature of life and the nature of the cycles of life, because that feeling of death, which is where that darkness energy has probably come up post new moon, is so that more light can come in. But it's all bringing you to a place of wisdom to see that all of this, there's stuff being prepared for you behind the scenes for your growth, and preparing for next month's energy, because we've got that Mercury retrograde coming in the third week, I believe, of April. As we move through the week, Lord Shiva's energy in the form of the lingam. Now, the lingam is a phallic statue because in my culture, we look, there's the Kama Sutra, there is the lingam, there is the yoni, all of that, because it's all natural part of life, right? If you're suppressing that sexual energy, which I talked about in the wider energy forecast I did with Hannah Creera and the other medium as well. And this area, the lingam, is really about creation. It's a wand of light. And this energy came to me last week during my meditation around the new moon time, because we are being asked to energize ourselves and not to be in fight or flight mode anymore, and use our energy from a place of trust. And so this is why I needed Saturday afternoon to sleep. I literally did not leave my room, because the shutdown, it's kind of like rebooting your computer. This equinox energy is a time of everything being balanced. So the information that I was getting on Saturday as I was going through this reboot is that the longer your reboot, the more imbalanced you are. Now, for me, I know that I needed a significant reboot because there are certain things that I need to address within myself to step forward into my power even more. So what is it for you? Where and what part of last week did you reboot? How much time did you spend? It's really important to have this awareness so that you know what it is that is happening for you in order for you to potently manifest in your life. The energy for the extended Monday mantra. True attention comes to you from the right people when you shine your light brightly by being yourself. Those who cannot see your light are not the right ones for you. You will find they will fall away so that more light can come in. So this is an interesting one to consider, okay? And just as you're listening, just ponder this in your life. People or situations leaving your life doesn't necessarily mean that they're physically leaving your life, okay? So this might mean that you realize that you cannot change someone, that you have to just shine your light anyway because they're not going to participate with you. And even through physical death, people leaving your life, it's not a bad thing, because it is part of life and the natural life cycle. The people that are leaving, either energetically, physically, whatever, are helping to bring more light into you. They really are. You might experience the shadow and darkness first before you can even consider how the light's going to get in. But we seem to want to be in the darkness when someone can't see us. Oh, I'm miserable because this person can't see me for who I am. Oh, it's like the pity party victim, when actually what we're being asked is to find the empowerment within ourselves so that we don't feel rejected and abandonment. Because have you even considered that a person that can't see past themselves, they can't see you. They can't even see who they are. So it's your job, your empowered soul, to progress yourself, to progress your soul and shine your light anyway. Because over the week, we've either been asked to sell ourselves in some way, or leave behind someone or something that can't see you in order to that can't see you in order to trust yourself. So what that means is that you may have found that, there were things that were happening for me last week where I had to talk about myself quite a lot. in order for people to know what I did and people to evaluate that. But I also, through clients and people in my life, heard and witnessed having to step away from certain people because they can't cope at the moment. So therefore, they're either going to pull you down or you're going to actually allow yourself to shine your light and let them be the way that they need to be. I had a really great article come out by a very, very prestigious magazine called Authority Medium Magazine last week, where I was interviewed by Karen Mangia, who asked me some questions about how we are redefining success now. And I really enjoyed this interview because obviously all of you know I've got a corporate background, I've got a master's degree, but now I'm in this spiritual world, but in a very practical way. So I have put the link in the app. It's also in the media section of my Instagram. So if you click on that, you will see where to go. And it's about redefining success. And this is all about shining your light in a way that is more authentic. So go and have a read of that article, save these things. It's also on the media section on my website, www.soul33.com. Sorry, I had to remember my own website. Remember, I'm always here from you. Just because I'm not in my home country at the moment, I am still working, I'm still seeing clients, I'm doing mini readings, soul magics, personalized meditations. Personalized meditations are an amazing way for you to heal. I infuse energy into them so you're receiving your energy shift at the same time as major intuitive reminders on keeping you on your path and progressing your soul. If you need to renew your app, remember it's only $60 per year. It is a very, very small fee, and I keep it around this price by keeping it off the payment plan off the app stores, because they take a huge percentage, which means that I would need to have the energy exchange fee for the subscription even higher. So there is a link, either save the link or ask Karen, she'll be very, very happy to help you. So with my week last week, I have, because I've been here in Malaysia, I'm obviously experiencing, when I talked about the change up in routine, for me the change up in routine has been going on for a couple of weeks now because I'm overseas. And I know it's because when I was talking about that restoring balance, it's because there's something that's been imbalanced in my life, which is the lack of connection with my family and my homeland. Malaysia is the place I was born. I didn't go to school here, but there's always a polarity that I have when I come here of my family are here, but there's things within me that I need to heal about being here. So those of you who don't know, Kieran, my administrator and my right-hand girl, is based here in Kuala Lumpur, and I haven't seen her in this whole time either, so I managed to catch up with her. You would have seen a photo if you're following me on Instagram, on my Insta stories, just sharing with you what she looks like, and that we spent the whole afternoon together planning and scheduling and doing all of that for the rest of the year. So that was amazing to see her. Been spending a lot of time with my mum and my dad and a few other family members. So it's been a really interesting change up of routine for me. But what I found also is that on Saturday, which is the day that I needed to shut down in the afternoon, I got a message to let me know that the car's been stolen. And I was thinking, this is a really weird thing. This is so interesting. Stolen from the driveway, not from anywhere else. And so I had to rise above it all, as I normally do, to go, what's this for? Why has this happened? When things get taken from you, right, not necessarily physically, it really makes you consider your attachment to stuff. So that was also something that came up, and for you to think about attachment to things, attachment to people. This is also about shining your light. When we feel like we're not attached is when we can shine even more, because we're not letting things bog us down. We're being resilient. We're not being affected by things so heavily. And there's been some inner conflict for me this week as well. Like when you're with, when I mentioned last week, when you're with parents, regardless of whether you're 4 years old or 40 years old, they bring up something within you that brings you back to being a child. A lot of that is great because you feel nurtured and cared for, but the other part is the resistance also. So the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is to have you think about how you feel, because this is how we progress our souls, is by understanding and being aware. So don't forget, if you need any help, I am here for you. Please email Kieran at soul33@gmail.com. There are so many different ways you can connect with me. But as we go into this new week, and why I've mentioned all of that personal stuff in my life, is that your Monday mantra for this week is nothing is a coincidence. It has been orchestrated for me. Nothing is a coincidence. It has been orchestrated for me. Energetically, March has been one of expansion, advancement, and growth. All of these things are not easy things. Then when we have all of these things happening in our lives, they trigger us, they come up for our healing, they come up for us to rest, they come up for us to surrender, they come up for us to act. And through experiencing darkness is to help us to get to the light. And we actually have to bring the light in ourselves, because a lot of people stay in the darkness because they don't know how to find the light. So what has it been for you over the last few weeks? Have you been experiencing darkness? How have you been pulling the light in? Because overall, we're being asked to find our passions and to put them into the world for people to see who you are, but more importantly, for you to feel like your life is fulfilling. Remember, not all passions are meant to be seen by the masses. They might be meant to be seen by you, your people, your clients, your colleagues, your bosses, whoever. But what is your passion? Your passion may be something that you do privately that nobody sees. Only your spirit team sees. This is why we called in your spirit team to be able to support you. And as we come into this final week of March, look with curiosity to see how your world has expanded. There's all these crazy things happening in the world. I've seen, all the rallies and things happening in New Zealand, and everyone has a different view. But the thing is, it's coming up for us to see how these difficult conversations will eventually make a breakthrough in order for everyone to feel heard and seen and not feel like they all have to be the same. So you might find things have gone backwards, which some things feel like they have for me, but I know that it's in order to go forwards. Nothing is ever a coincidence. Many things are orchestrated for you to learn. Sure, there's some random things like when you stub your toe on the washing machine when you're trying to do the washing. That may be there just to tell you to slow down and focus on what you're doing. But nothing really is a coincidence. You may be feeling feelings of deja vu or recognition this week, and structure in your life will be important to feel like you're getting things done. So practical checklists and logical support will be useful for you to stay on track and not fall behind. So there are things to clear up and consolidate, including your finances, like me being overseas, all the different currency conversions and all of that is like consolidating all of that with my accountant and myself personally, but also making a list of all the things that are triggering and upsetting for you. I literally have a list on my phone every time I feel a trigger from my parents, or I feel a trigger from Malaysia, or I'm like, whatever, someone says something to me and I find myself justifying it. I'm like, okay, yep, need to write this down because this is something that I need to clear and heal and allow the light to come in. That's also a practical making lists of something that you're going to clear up and consolidate. The exciting part of life, though, is that we can plan and we can organize and we can write these lists, but things just happen that we can't plan for because that is the orchestration. These could be amazing things. Like I've seen some amazing things come up in my life because I just got on with it, trusting myself, shining my light. But then when other things happen that are the shadow sides, those are the most painful things. But as Rumi says, the cracks are where the light comes in. So parts of your life will be unveiled to you this week, and people, whether it's through challenging situations for you or situations where you're really, because we're all at different stages, are really being asked to step up and doing things that you're passionate about, it is for that, to be able to find that place that is more in line with your true nature, to feel seen, to feel recognized. And you might already be in that space where you are being seen and being recognized. There is an element of clearing out, and your creative expression this week is really giving you a new slate to work on. So how can you creatively express? So a new thing that I'm doing is I'm very, very bad at stretching. So I was telling my best friend that I'm going to start stretching every day because I'm feeling stiff and blocked up, especially in my shoulders. So for me, that's creative expression because I'm allowing my body to become more agile. So what is your creative expression going to be for you? Could be through art, could be through poetry, could be through painting, could be through changing up your house. Change something, clear something out. This is why the list of things to work through, being the logical, practical things, as well as the things that you need to heal, will be helpful. And when you have that list, call in for your emergency session. Remember, they don't have to be emergencies. Call in for your follow-up. This is where I'm here to help transmute the energy and to help you understand in order to be able to do what I do, which is to soul progress you. Look at what is popping up in your life naturally to direct you down your true path. So remember, if you need any help at all, mini readings, soul magics, emergency sessions, follow-up sessions, personalized meditations, ascension seeker sessions. Remember, I'm also doing talking to your babies if you're wanting to connect in with your child that is there for you, or in utero, or even if you've had the child and you're needing to figure out how to support the soul progression of that child. Kieran is the person to communicate with, soul33@gmail.com. And go and look at the website. We're constantly updating links, so many resources and things on there for you, soul33.com. Your Monday mantra is, nothing is a coincidence, it has been orchestrated for me. And when I think this way, it makes things a lot easier to understand what they are for. Have a wonderful week. Remember, challenges are to allow the light to come in. Do something creative. Remember, everything's being asked for you to find your passion, even if you're going through challenging times. I am here for you, sending you lots of love. And please don't forget to share your meditations. Don't forget to pull an oracle card, tag me. It really helps me grow this platform. Take care of yourselves. I'll be in touch very soon.